Yeah, it's good. It's a tough tournament. It's just there's ups and downs, and even there in the finals, like we talked to our guys about being present and trying to stay in the moment. It's much for us the same. You just you're resetting every single one of those matches, no matter what the result is, and you have some heartbreakers in there, and you have some sweet matches in there. It's just got to reset, get ready for the next guy. So we've got some adjustments that we got to make, and got to keep getting a little bit better for the national tournament.
Jax didn't get a tech fall tonight. Very close. But that was the most impressive stint of wrestling I think a lot of people have seen ever.
Yeah, we call those little guys the squirrels, and I found out that a group of squirrels is a scurry. So they're just a scurry, and that's just how they are, and that's their personality, and that's how they wrestle in practice, and they're their best practice, going into these competitions. And that wrestling was a big difference maker for all three of those guys there in the beginning, even in Casey, riding. It was awesome to see. So, they did a good job.
Jax still outstanding ball and chain.
Yeah, Jax has always got something going on, something up his sleeve, but Larkin's tough. There were a lot of, there was just nonstop action on both sides of that, both sides of that. So, there was a lot of wrestling going on there.
Jax talks about embracing the chaos and the tough matches, the funky positions. How much of that has been contagious for some of your other guys? I know Sergio's been doing that since before Jax got on campus, but just kind of talk about that.
Yeah, I think we work on a lot of situations in practice, and the Jax just interjects a little different energy and a little different level of comfortability in those positions. And those guys are wrestling each other all the time. They're working, they're talking through those things. And, you need a lot of guys to push each other to get better, and guys with the same mentality, and I think that's what they all do.
The last match, Sergio's, a lot like those two put on in Stillwater. But when those two get out there, it's one heck of a competition.
Yeah, it's tough. You're talking about top couple guys in the country, and our margins are, you got to create the opportunities. Serge has a lot of confidence in mat wrestling. As a team, we have a lot of confidence in our mat wrestling. So it's just it made a difference there. We got to keep working on that, keep believing in it. This is great, but we've never one time talked about winning this tournament. We're focused on being our best version at the end of the year, and I think we had a good tournament. We just got to keep making improvements. We got 10 guys that believe we can go to the national tournament, believing they can win the nationals, we just got to keep helping them get a little bit better.
You mentioned making adjustments. How big has this group been in making those adjustments in season and making improvements?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's that. I think you've seen our guys get better. But right now, again, this is just another tournament that we did, and we got ready for in a couple weeks. We get home, get rested, get rested up, get excited, wrestle with some passion, and let's go challenge ourselves to the national tournament.
Coach Taylor, last year you had a really veteran-led team. Now you bring in a really young team into this tournament and the national tournament. Just kind of talk to me about how your young guys responded this weekend.
I think they've been responding all year, and I just think there's a lot of, they're tough kids, and there's a lot of attention on them, but it's the whole team. Our whole team is part of that. Our whole team is focused on getting better and motivating each other. And you see some of these guys that had tough losses, and they're over there cheering each other on and stuff. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that kind of speaks about the team, no matter who they are. And Connor, he's a senior, and it's everybody from start to finish. So proud of these guys, proud of the way they wrestle. They're a resilient group, and we got to rebound. We got to make some adjustments. Going into the next couple of weeks, and that's what we got to work on.
Heartbreak for Troy the last 2 years of this tournament. What does it mean for you to see him get a cup?
I think it's good. I think sometimes you got some hurdles in your way, and you got to get over them. And I think tonight was a hurdle. That's a tough weight class. It's a tough weight class. He's got ready for it, but he's been there a couple times. He's wrestled all these guys. He's opening it up on him here as we're getting towards the end of the season, and that's a good thing for him. I think he has the ability to go score the points that he needs to go score. And he's in a good spot, and he's having a tough tournament coming up. He'll be ready for it.
David, how does it feel to be back-to-back conference champions?
Honestly, I just want to help these guys get better wrestling. That's something that, that's